Okay, testing mic. Everything seems to be working. I remembered to put my face on this time. Alright, so it's been a week. We're actually streaming this on time for once. It's 9 p.m. on November 2nd. It is November 2nd, right? Yes, November 2nd. Which means that today we're going to be reacting to and having a little bit of discussion about One Piece Chapter 1164, Davy Blood. So, those who've been looking forward to this, or looking forward to my reaction, here it is. This is it. But before we go any further, just a reminder that I let people know when I'm going live on my Discord, links to which are where links are. Alright, that's enough of the plugs. If you want to advertise, this is where I would put your ad here. But since we don't make money on this channel, and I mostly do this as a hobby purely, where I have no profit motive at all, so let's just jump straight into it at this point. So, starting for the recap, I believe last week, if you remember correctly, we ended on the note of Zebek getting turned into a Dami Reversi, and also the entire Davy clan was appeared to have turned into demons a few chapters ago. And with the chapter title of Davy Blood, makes me wonder if we're going to get a little bit more of an insight into how Dami Reversi works. Which might be important, given what's going on in the present day, because as a reminder, we're still stuck in Loki's flashback. Or Loki's story that he's telling. Not even really a flashback, technically. Because Loki's not really in it anymore. We are now talking about people on a far-off land Loki has never been to. I assume. He was a pirate for like 6 years. Maybe he went to visited the remains of God Valley. I don't know what Loki's been doing in that 6 years where he was eventually defeated by Shanks. And got engaged to Lola at one point. When is that storyline going to get explained? That's what I was hoping we would get to with the Loki flashback. Because we still have a whole lot of stuff about Loki that we haven't gotten up to. The whole point of this story originally was for us to find out what happened to Harold. But now I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling. Oh, and I guess that's enough for the recap. And one last thing before we get a little bit further into the reading the chapter prior, I guess I should bring up that this is going to be a long stream tonight. About 30 minutes or so will be this reaction to the One Piece chapter, and then we are going to jump into LunaTube and Genshin Impact, because I would like to get through as much story as possible before 3.7 comes out in Star Rail later this week on Tuesday. So, there's that. In the meantime, let's get straight into it. So, no cover page today. We do have a viewer request, which is really fun. It says, Perona chasing a rabbit with a watch. So it's Alice in Wonderland, but it's Perona. And she has her hollows have bunny ears right now for some reason. But the bunny she's chasing with a pocket watch is Randolph, the homie. Or is it Randall? I don't remember. It's Randall or Randolph, the homie, from Big Mom's crew. And she has a little thought bubble of it looking like Mihawk, which they are wearing the same type of hat, so I will give her that. Fun little viewer request. I might actually remember this one, because I usually don't remember a lot of these viewer requests unless they're super noteworthy. Like the one with Captain Kuro taking care of cats. Because we just haven't seen Captain Kuro in the manga in like 1,000 chapters. I want to see Captain Kuro get utilized again at some point. Just a minor request, Oda. You're not watching this. But somebody out there agrees with me and thinks that Kuro is one of the better villains of One Piece, and deserves a lot more credit. The live-action adaptation of him, I liked it, but I wish that it was done differently narrative-wise. Do I want to get into One Piece live-action news? I think we have a release date now, don't we? I want to say it's coming out like in March next year? I could be misremembering. Anywho, I'm getting off topic. So, that's the end of page 1. Let's go to page 2. No page 1 on page 1, but we're not in Wano anymore, so I don't have to complain about no page 1 on page 1 anymore. Page 2 and 3. Oh, just a big old panel of screaming. That's always nice. Alright, Rox is screaming. Whitebeard's asking, what is it, Rox? We'll get a panel of everyone that's here now. Rogers said they did our attack, did nothing to the spider. Garp is just going ellipses. Whitebeard's going ellipses. Kaido's not even going to give ellipses. He's just going to stare menacingly as a dragon. Big Mom, what's going on here? Persistent thou art. Don't downplay the power of humanity, monster. Davy D. Jones was once the king of the world. Ooh, that pissed off Emu. Silence, he was never king. Not for an instant. The grievance between Mu and Davy has nothing to do with thee. Then why are you so panicked over something as trivial as the Davy name? It's kept you terrified for years, hasn't it? The thought that Davy's will might be passed down and one day come for you to fulfill the promise. Ooh, I wonder what the promise is. The last week's chapter was named Promise, if I remember correctly. Which makes it feel like this chapter should have been named Promise, if we're going to actually talk about what the promise is. I don't really know or understand why they pick certain names to be certain chapter names. It's even more egregious in the anime, where they'll talk about something that only is mentioned in like the last 30 seconds of the episode, and then which will be the focus of the next episode. It's really bad. Well, anyway, we got a panel of, when he says the promise and it being passed down, we see Eris and Peach running away still, so I guess we're going to cut to them eventually. They're probably going to be more important this chapter. And that's it for pages 2 and 3. Pages 4 and 5. What's more frightening to you? Davy D. Jones or Joy Boy? Ooh, Emu's not going to like hearing him say that. Cease thy dreaming. Their kind will never be seen again, once I have eradicated thee. I have found excellent soldiers to serve Mu, Davy. Gigantic, harmless, and conflicted. The giants? You fool. Don't mess with Harold. They only want peace. Indeed, a golden opportunity. Such a willing puppet of a king will never come along twice. Nah. Just like thee, in fact now, stop wasting time. And bring an end to the dream of Davy. So that's what he's going to do. So he's basically resisting the Dami Reversi all the way through this. He's still got the fangs. They're getting bigger and bigger. Huh, Rox? What's happening? What did it do to you? Damn it. I'm gonna disappear. What happened up there, Rox? Something's happening. Makes me wonder if Big Mom and Whitebeard saw this go down. I wonder what their interpretation of it is. Because they're still around, or they were still around in the present day, in the current era. And the fact that they saw what's going on right now on... it's going to be weird. It makes me wonder how much Whitebeard's crew knows about everything that went down. Alright, let's go to pages 6 and 7. Let's see what's on here. End Davy by thy own hand. That's the order he's been given. Now erase all life that was involved with God Valley. Oh, we're adding on top of that. So they're gonna make him kill everyone on the island. Huh, did you get bigger? That's Whitebeard talking to him. All of you move it. There is blood that must be erased from history. Oh, that feels dark coming from Zebek. This is what's gonna cause Zebek to go down in history as like the big bad. Now he's like twice as big. He's demonic looking. He's got a big black cloak, and now he's bigger than Whitebeard. And he jumps. Hey, Rox, what are you? Oh. Is he slashing at Kaido? He slashed at Kaido. Oh, and that pissed off Big Mom. Damn you, Rox. Are you turning on your own people? That's a big panel of him slashing Kaido. That panel is like basically 75% of what is page 7. This is going to be a short chapter for getting all this action sequence. I ranted about it a lot in a previous reaction and discussion, so I don't want to get into it here about why I'm not a big fan of action in manga. I would honestly be happy if it just showed like 2 or 3 pictures per page, and then we just got a paragraph of text at the bottom. Kind of like what the Harley or like that mural was in the earlier Elbaph. That's my like ideal type of chapter. A big image with like a couple paragraphs of text. I can imagine the action in my head. I don't need to see action. I read these more for the story than I do for the art, to be honest. Alrighty, pages 8 and 9. We're almost halfway done with the chapter, it would seem. More action panels. That's away, Big Mom. Whitebeard's just looking menacingly. We all are to you, rocks. Impediments. Yes. Oh, and then Whitebeard gives him the quake to the chest. That's an earthquake. Everyone's freaking out. And that's half of page 9. It's just rocks getting an earthquake to Whitebeard. I think we're finally getting to see Whitebeard. This might actually be the origin of why he gets the title, the strongest man in the world. Because he is making this look effortless. Oh. Oh, one of the 2 mountains of God Valley fell over from that attack. When we get to the start of page 10, it's fallen over. Run for your lives, the mountain's coming down. Whitebeard must have been taking it easy because he didn't want to see, like, a bunch of people die. Whitebeard is gonna still go down in history by the end of One Piece as probably one of the coolest characters in this entire series. All battleships along the northeast shore. Withdraw and keep your distance. That was dangerous. Who should we punish for allowing this to happen? Quickly, please, walk this way, everyone. Don't you dare leave without us, or we'll have you all put to death. Hurry, my lords. Southwest part of the island. Hurry up, Rayleigh. This island is doomed. Roger better be alright in there. Treasure, treasure. Can you believe how much there is? Oh, it's a dead end. Okay, that's just a bunch of pirates running away with bags of treasure and chests of treasure, which we're now learning are about like 1 billion berries or more in each of them. This is another one of those pages where we have like half of a page dedicated to one panel of a mountain falling over, which admittedly is a terrifying thought. Whitebeard has a devastating power. There's a reason they think that he could destroy the entire world by himself if he really wanted to. Page 12 and 13. We are basically speeding through the chapter at this point. We haven't even been reading for 15 minutes yet. And there's probably like 4 pages left. Ah, oh, Dragon's getting all depressed. Damn it, I can't even save a single baby. Where did he go? You have to stop, Kuma. If you keep going, you'll put us all in danger. Oh, is this where Dragon's gonna first meet them, or see them? Are they gonna unintentionally be the inspiration for the formation of the Freedom Fighters? We do know that, at some point after this, Eva is gonna hook up with Dragon, and that's gonna form the Freedom Fighters. There might still be lives I can save. Oh, a person. Oh my god, it's Captain John! Curses, stupid Gonzui. Cheeky. Is there even an escape off of this island? You thought you could get the best of me? It looks like Shiki's just taking treasure and flying away from Gunsui. All the forces to the shore. We need stretchers. I can't get there. The woods are on fire. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Rox is caught up to his wife already? Sebek, you look just like... So you lost then. I'm sorry, dear. You had to face off in order to save us, but it was too early, wasn't it? Oh, Teach. We'll jump into the sea. We just have to swim. Whatever it takes. Keep the Davy blood alive. You have to survive no matter what it takes. Escapees at the shore. Oh, we're cutting to the shore. And that's the end of page 13. Here we go, 14, 15. Oh, this is not the last two pages, so we're going to probably go to 16 and 17. Oh my god, are the Marines going to start blasting cannon fire at them? They are. Alright, so she's got Sebek at the back, the Navy at the front. Bunch of explosions. Emu sending more orders. Continue, Davy. Snuff out every light of life left on the island. Hurry up, Vice Admiral Garp. There's no time. No, you hurry. How many are still on the island? Where are you now, Roger? I'm fine. Once everyone's on the ship, let me know. You got that? Oh, I get it. They're going to loophole him. He's supposed to wipe out all life on the island, but if there's no one on the island, then he doesn't have any orders to follow. I guess that's what Rox and Roger are doing, I guess. Meanwhile, Sebek walking around killing everybody. Stop it, Rox. Why does he look like that? Funny stuff. I say while a genocide is happening on panel. Alright, last two pages, 16 and 17. Oh, looks like Roger and Garp are calling him out. Get out here, Rox. Davy. Look at what a mess you are. Can't let you go after my crew. Roger and Garp. What's that voice? Help me. Why do you look like that? Please, just kill me. Oh. And that's where we ended on. The face-off that we know of or heard of. All we knew about God Valley originally was that Garp and Roger teamed up to take out Roxy Sebek here at God Valley. And that's where we end. That's what's going to be happening next. So we'll get into predictions right off the bat. So it's very obvious we're going to finally see the showdown that's going to be here. It's probably going to be less of a showdown and more of putting him out of his misery, it seems. I think it's kind of cool that we're seeing him resist Dami Reversi so much to the point to where he's able to like almost telepathically communicate with Garp and Roger. Unless he's saying this out loud. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm looking forward to how the anime tries to adapt this eventually. Because from reading it, it's kind of hard to discern what's being said, what's being yelled, what's actually a thought bubble. Because these are all action panels, or just like bubbles with lines. And it doesn't really help you get across the tone or the portrayal that they're trying to get. I'm really looking forward to how the voice actors and the seiyuu and whatnot are going to try to portray this. I'm also wondering who they're going to cast for Sebek, because I don't believe he's had a voiced line in the anime yet. The first time I think we ever hear his voice would have been that earlier Loki flashback where he sliced Lofi with Whitebeard watching. What a oddly inconsistent character. He kept trying to recruit Harold, but meanwhile Loki would have been more than willing to go with him. If he just waited like 10 years or so, probably Loki could have taken over. But then again, he probably wouldn't have made it 10 years because this whole God Valley incident thingy would have happened. Alright, chapter highlights. Honestly, the big chapter highlight here is just this ending panel where we're getting ready for actually something good to happen with the showdown between Garp, Roger, and Zebek. It's kind of vague because of the explosions. Oh, actually... Oh! I missed this because it's a tiny panel. Between the ship cannon firing, Zebek swinging the sword, there's a small canna of Kuma and a poof. So it looks like Kuma might have gotten to Eris and Teach before Zebek got to them. That's something that I'm glad that I went back and checked, because I would have missed that. Or is he jumping in front and making the cannonballs miss? I can't tell. Nope, there's a double poof poof. He got both of them. That's cool. So, Eris survives. I don't know if she lives to present day, but she at least survived the God Valley incident. I'll tell you this much, I don't know how many people saw this coming. I think all of us were just consigned to the fact that she was probably going to die and Teach was going to get poofed off the island by Kuma. That's more or less what I expected, and that's what I assume a lot of other people expected. Really surprising. Although, I guess a big highlight for me is this really, really depressing panel of Eris when she first sees Zebek. So you lost then. You can see the pain and feel the anguish in the way her face is drawn, with the tears welling up. And the way her eyes are starting to squint, it almost... She just looks really sad. And then we turn to her basically clutching Teach closer. But, that's probably a big highlight for me. Another big highlight for me is seeing what's going on with the whole Gansui, Shiki, and Captain John fiasco. We know Captain John lives because he goes on to become a really successful pirate and manages to amass a huge treasure that Buggy goes looking for after this. So, despite the fact that John's all beaten up, I'm glad that they showed a panel of him doing a little bit better, and he's pissed off at Gansui. Who knows? They probably could have negotiated with John. Like, once John grabbed all the treasure in one place, if these guys were better at teamwork, they could have just started loading all that on a ship and been getting out of here. Instead of thinking, oh, John's taking it all for himself. He couldn't have carried all that shit onto a boat. He still needs a crew. Very few people in the One Piece series are capable of piloting a ship by themselves. There's like, Kuma we see do it at some points in the story. Luffy failed miserably at doing it at the start of the series. Drakil Mihawk's boat is practically a coffin, so it's only really meant for one person. I guess you could fit two people in a coffin, nice and snug. So I say, knowing that Perona was on the cover page art request. And then I guess another big highlight is, for me, is this amazing panel of Whitebeard basically just sending Zebek flying into the mountain and knocking the mountain down. Whitebeard, you're a real one. Never change. And we know that you never really did. You were a very consistent man from beginning to end. You are the envy of the old man. You are the 11th hour old man. We love you. And we also know that somehow, some way in the near future, Teach will end up alone, and then Teach will end up with Whitebeard. So I'm really interested to see how that plays out. I don't know if we're going to get that in this flashback, because this flashback has gone way off the rails. But I'm not entirely sure. We might. If they want to keep this going, we'll probably still be in this flashback before the year ends at this point. I've lost track of how many chapters this flashback has been. It's been at least 10, right? Anywho, that's going to be a wrap. We've gone for 25 minutes, and I think I've ran out of things to talk about. There was a lot of action. There was some decent dialogue here. I guess we got the really big reveal in the first, like, 2 pages that Davy D. Jones was once king of the world. Or, at least according to Zebek. Emu seems to disagree with that sentiment. But I think we've gone through enough highlights and we talked about enough predictions. So, stick around if you want to see some story playthrough of Genshin Impact. And if you want to see more stuff, Twitch TV/Sheet Streams in the future is where I do all of my live content. If you want to know when I'm going to be live and what I'm doing when I go live, the best way to do that would be to follow me on Discord. Links to are where links are. And then I guess some people have asked what this soundtrack is. This is the Touhou Lost Branch soundtrack, which I do plan on playing more of this when I have more time. But I've created a backlog of stuff because I've been busy with work and busy with school. So the streams have become less frequent. And I have not been streaming on Monday and Tuesday as often as I used to. Hopefully, that'll happen soon because we got some holidays coming up, which are usually the days where I manage to get some time to do some extra work in. But that's a problem for future me. Well, anyway, so long for now. I'll see you when I see ya. However, if you are sticking around for the content in Genshin afterwards, stay tuned. We'll be right back.